Welcome. If you love, you will be loved. My dear brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ, there is an important poem written by Englishman Leigh Hunt about a man called Abu Ben Adham. Abu Ben Adham woke from his sleep one night and saw in his room an angel writing in a book called The Names of Those Who Love God. And his mind what? Incredible. Nay, not so, replied the angel. I pray thee, then, said Abu, write me as one who loves his fellow man. The following night, the angel came again and displayed the names of those who love God, and Abu Ben Adham's name topped the list. Now, this poem makes the point that true love of God and the true love of our fellow human beings are like the two sides of the same coin. One cannot exist apart from the other. That's what we find in today's gospel. Jesus is asked about the first of all commandments in the law. Which is the first of all the commandments in the law? This question was very important for the Jews because they had so many commandments, 613 of them, and they had to follow them all. To answer to this question, Jesus first cites a passage from Deuteronomy that everyone knew because it was the profession of faith that pious Israelites recited every morning and evening. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind and with all your strength. And then Jesus adds, the second is this, you shall love your neighbor as yourselves. There is no other commandment greater than this. The answer of Jesus was clear. The first and the greatest commandment, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. Notice the three alls. All your heart, all your soul, and all your mind. If you really love, my dear brothers and sisters, your love cannot be half your heart, half your soul, and half your mind. To love is to give oneself totally to the beloved one. We read in the book of the prophet Isaiah, the Lord said, these people draws near with words only and honors me with their lips alone, but their hearts are far from me. The second command is like this first, you shall love your neighbor as yourselves. In his first epistle, St. John gives us an acid test to prove whether we love God and neighbor in chapter 4. If not, we are liars. He writes, anyone who says, I love God and hates his brother is a liar. Since a man who does not love the brother that he can see cannot love God whom he has not seen. So this is the commandment that he has given us, that anyone who loves God must also love his brother. If we love God, we prove our love by keeping his commandments. To direct us all our lives to love God with our heart, soul, and mind, God has given us guidelines, the 10 commandments. The commandments are not meant to restrict us, not meant to make life less enjoyable for us, but are meant to make life more enjoyable for us because they save us from the potholes that we could fall into going through life. The commandments are not to restrict our behavior, but show us the values in life, to love, the qualities in our personalities, to develop for happiness in life. The first 3 of the 10 commandments show us how to love God. I am the Lord your God. You shall not have strange gods before me. You shall not take the name of Lord and God in vain. Remember to keep the Sabbath day. The next 7 commandments show us how to love our neighbor. Honor your father and mother. You shall not kill. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife. You shall not covet your neighbor's goods. So in today's gospel, Jesus is reacting against a one-dimensional understanding of love. For Jesus, true love must express itself in 3 dimensions. These 3 dimensions are: 1. Love of God, B. Love of neighbor, and C. The love of oneself. The first 2 are positively commanded. The last one is not commanded, but presumed to be the basis of all loving. The commandment to love your neighbor as yourself presumes that you love yourselves. If you hate yourselves, you will not bother to love God or neighbor. If you close yourself up in your selfishness, you do not love yourselves. If you are turned in on your own interests, you hate yourselves. You are ruining your life and making yourself sad. So Jesus took the commandments a step further. He told us that what is in our heart is also important, not just the externals. Jesus told us we can offend God even by the way we think. So to love God with all our heart, soul and mind, and to love our neighbor as oneself or ourselves, we have to begin with our thoughts. What do we think? What way do we think? What are our attitudes? Some people say that even when they do something good, they get something out of it for themselves. A bit like job satisfaction. So we can have a very mixed motive sometimes. If you do not always think in a very Christian way, I believe we can take control of our thoughts. We can correct our way of thinking. If we want to love God with all our heart, soul and mind, and our neighbor as ourselves, if we want to feed our minds with Christian thoughts, we need to cut out unchristian influences. A beautiful Christian ideal to have before us is that Jesus is in the other person. Jesus is in the person next to me, the person behind me, the in front of me, in the person I live with and work with. You might have paid attention to the captions we read when we travel by subway. The man who stands by the door will someday be your boss. So my dear brothers and sisters, love your God and neighbor, because if you love, you will be loved. May God bless you all. Amen. Thank you.